This is Hoodies. Word. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready? I think I'm ready. So, ready to go, Azza? Yeah, let's go. Welcome back to another dope session of Hoodies the Podcast. I'm the host, the God Rashidi, coming at you live from the Skill Suite. Or maybe not so live, but we coming at you, man. Let's put one in the air for Hoodies the Podcast. Word, take that with you, man. So listen, real quick. Y'all just gonna have to bear with me for this right here, alright? Just gonna have to bear with me. Okay? Check it. I hope tomorrow will bring better you, better me. I know that we'll show this world we could be. So you should never give up on your hopes and your dreams. You gotta get up, get into it and get it on. To be strong, if we try, we can fly to a whole nother place. All we need is belief and a smile on our face. We can go anywhere we want, any road we decide to take, and we're never too far from tomorrow today. Ladies and gentlemen, those eloquent lyrics sung by Tevin Campbell and written by the late and great Quincy Jones. Our RIP and moment of silence this evening is for the late, great, the legend, Quincy Jones. Word. Man. Frank Sinatra. I think maybe Stevie, maybe not. Definitely Michael Jackson. Some Off the Wall. Definitely the Thriller album. Had a huge part in making We Are the World. Now, I didn't research that, but I wouldn't doubt if he had something to do with that. But the Back on Block, that album, which was he released in the rap era. I remember the Secret Garden record. Man. Rest in peace, Quincy Jones. Rest in peace. And to anybody else out there that's lost in this, man, a lot of those songs that like that little song I just butchered, you know what I'm saying? Childhood. I think that came out in 89, so I wasn't a kid, but I was a kid, you know? And when I turned the camera on just now, because I don't have that much time, but when I turned the camera on, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to talk about. So I'm kind of just letting this flow, you know, so I don't want to miss this wave that I'm riding right now. So what I do want to do is just give out my condolences to anybody that's lost a loved one today. You know, the ones that didn't make the social media feed. Happy born day to everybody who's born, to everyone who has a birthday today. You know what I'm saying? Happy November. Today is election day. I would like to send out a heartfelt good luck to everybody participating in the voting process. All right? Hope you get what you want. If you don't, before we get into this, I just want to say I meant everything I said a couple pods back in terms of, you know, when this whole thing is over with, whether your candidate or character of choice wins, I just want to see how hard a lot of you cape. I want to see how hard y'all go, you know, in terms of being of some benefit to your own community. Some of y'all already know because you ain't doing nothing now. You wasn't doing nothing before the voting process, so I don't expect you to do much more. But hey, if you hearing this right now and you really are into voting and things of that nature, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just curious as to what changes you plan on making in your community. You know what I'm saying? Without some politician, be it the federal or municipal level. I want to hear about y'all go hard, in terms of that. Go hard on that. Go hard with that. And that's all I gotta say about that. But good luck though. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right, let's go. So so yeah, that song that I was just butchering a second ago, that makes me think of my mom's, man. And just in this little break right here, just thinking like, wow, it's amazing how some things from our childhood spill over into adulthood. Unresolved things. You know, and when I think of, especially back then, when I think of my mom's in Chicago and my, early parts of my life, um, we had a lot of wonderful times, man. A lot of beautiful, wonderful memories. A lot of struggle, definitely. I kind of made a vow to, whenever I'm talking about the old neighborhood, whenever I'm talking about my childhood, for that matter, um, I'm extremely intentional about not starting it off with shit, man. It was rough, man. I don't know. I don't like doing that. Sure, but I don't like that, because truth be told, sure, there was a lot of struggle and things of that nature. 'Cause we were poor. There's no that ain't no secret. So that there's a struggle. There's a struggle. Watching your mom struggle and being a kid and going without certain things. Living conditions and this, that, and the third. Sure, there was that, but and it's not that I try to hide, what my life once was. It's just I spent so many years always talking about that. For some strange reason, we as people, I'm not necessarily sure about white folk because I ain't white. But listen, I've been around my fair share of black folk who, and it's like we oftentimes engage in, I don't want to say struggle shaming, but for the most part, we're like comparing struggles, in terms of whose was the worst, and whoever's the worst was, oh damn, your shit really was fucked up. I guess it's almost like I don't know if trauma bond applies here. I don't know if that applies, but it's crazy how that works. So so when I talk about my childhood, early days in Chicago, I just feel like I'm doing that time a disservice by always just only talking about struggle and being poor and going without and things of that nature. Because at the end of the day, my childhood was fun. Thankfully, it was during a time where this was before social media, before cell phones. I heard somebody trying to be funny and say, well, shit, did y'all have phones back in your day? Yeah, real funny. Yeah, we had phones, and not the rotary phones, right? But we didn't even have that. And it's amazing how my childhood was still fun. Got a lot of great memories, you know? And in fact, that neighborhood, even though 68th and Langley wasn't necessarily the ghetto, some people may have referred to it as the hood. There were a lot of people around there who went without. I think we were poorer than them, but I remember some of the early parts of my life, living with my mom's, being so secretive about being poor, until one day it was like, you know what? Why am I sitting up here trying to act like everything's all good when it's not? When the people you trying to hide from, they're poor too. But anyway, that song takes me back to my mom's. I used to be that kid that could draw. You know what I mean? Now I wasn't so good at drawing that I could draw anything I saw, but I could draw a great. I wasn't good, like, say, if you stood in front of me right now, I can't just draw you like some people can. Some people can do that. I think that's amazing. but I could draw a character of whatever I thought I could draw. That it's weird how that worked, right? So as I got a little older, I hit what most people refer to as a rebellious stage. And then rebellious stages, they come in phases, and I think the early part of it, I think when my mom's felt as though she could get some sort of grasp of me, you know, we went to counseling. I think it was suggested, I think by my school or something like that, that suggested we get some counseling, because I believe my mom's felt like I was slipping away. She was losing me. Being outside became more fascinating. You know, that's why I've said before that for every gangbanger you know, for every street dude that you know, almost all of them start off as wannabes. In fact, all of them always start off as wannabes. A wannabe street dude, wannabe thug, wannabe gangster, wannabe gang member. You know what I'm saying? It starts, you see the older dudes doing it, and so you throwing up the same gang signs and shit like that around your peers who are also, but some of them are wannabes. Or you just kids and you're just imitating what you see. And it's always like that until one of the big homies say, "Oh, yo, so you little niggas really want to be down with this, right?" And the ones who's serious, go ahead and take that leap and go over there with them, and for the most part, being taken under that young brother's wing, while the rest of us is like, nah, I'm cool for one thing or another, fear, because from the outside looking in, the street dude, the thug dude, the gangbanger, and whatever. Listen, fam, they went through some things. And the way I saw it, like I said before, life is already hard as it was. And I think I'm going down a rabbit hole. Yeah, I'm definitely going down a rabbit hole. So before I went down the rabbit hole, I was saying that, I was starting to slip away from my mom's. So we went to some counseling. Anyway, so we sit down, my mother and I, with this counselor, therapist, whatever you want to call him. And he asked my mom's, "So you say your son's acting different. Tell me tell me how he used to be. Or tell me what's changed." And she made reference to my ability to draw pretty good. And I remember her telling him that, she said, he could draw. He had such an ability to draw that was larger than life. And I'm seeing that right now. I remember how she just looked up and just larger than life is how she described my ability to draw. You know what I'm saying? And how at the dinner table, it would be me cracking jokes and things of that nature. And yo, I remember looking at her and thinking to myself, wow, I never was a dumb kid. I was a lazy kid, but I was never a dumb kid. So even then, I could see that my mom's was looking for me. I wasn't that kid anymore. If I was drawing, I was tagging my name on stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of that is because mothers tend to look at their kids, I want to say especially their firstborn. The mother oftentimes is last to find out that the kid is really into some other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful that I'm just thankful that I had boundaries. I never took things to a point to where I wanted to cross the line and actually get jumped in and become GD, BD, Vice Lord, whatever. I did a lot of scrapping, stayed scrapping. So although I wasn't a street dude, thug dude, I guess you could say I was kind of a roughneck. I stayed scrapping, fighting about something. At least once I became nice with my hands. Once I realized, rather, that I was nice with my hands. That was a learning curve because at one point in time, I used to get pushed around. You know what I mean? Until some of them other dudes like, man, hey, get up, man. Hey, get up, man. Be letting them do you like that. Get up, man. My mom's, y'all, strong woman. I seen her go through a lot of things, go through a lot of changes with men, you know. And one thing that I still remember, well, it's quite a few things, but one thing that's really stuck with me. My mom's dated this one brother, you know, and I'll say his name. His name was Pete, right? She was seeing Pete, and Pete was cool. He was cool with us. I guess you could say he was gentle with my mom at times, or most of the time. But then there were times when he wasn't. And I'm not saying, you know, I've seen multiple times. Not to say that that didn't happen, but there was just this one time when, you know, Pete put his hands on my mom's. And when I heard her hit the ground, or when I heard something hit the ground, I went into the kitchen to go see what was going on. And of course, there was my mom's there on the floor, face down, spread eagle on the floor, face down. And so I go over to Pete, thinking who the fuck else would have did that shit. And then I kick at his leg and kick at him, whatever, whatever. And he just kind of just took his, because he was a heavy set dude, just kind of took his big leg and flung me across the room and shit. I didn't cry or whatever. I was angry, confused. To be honest with you, I didn't know what to do. Well, maybe what I did was what I should have did, was fight, hit the dude. Fuck, you did this to my mama. So I leave, and my sister goes into the kitchen, sees my mom on the floor, and there's Pete sitting in the chair. And oddly enough, his friend was there. His homie was there, whatever. I didn't hear, damn, homie, what you doing, man? Fuck you doing? You can't be hitting no woman. And there was none of that. It was just kind of just there. So my sister sees my mom on the floor, and she walks out crying. And the reason why I say I'll never forget that, you know, from that moment forward, I always felt like there's more that I could have did for my mom as I was laying right there on that floor. I ain't go and mama, get up. I ain't do none of that. Why didn't I do that shit? You know? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I pick up a fork or a knife? You know what I'm saying? And try to stab Pete. You know? Why you bullshitting? Why didn't I go dial 911? You know? Yeah. Yo, I'm probably this is probably way too much information. I might have to sit on this one. And listen, I'm not saying any of this because I want pity or anything like that. It's just that song just kind of took me back. That's all. And my mom was not necessarily one to, you know, of course she's different now, but then my mom wasn't one for a bunch of I love yous and things of that nature. If she said I love you, it was a very, very special occasion. She might have said I love you my 8th grade graduation. Maybe my high school graduation, because she did come to Maryland. I can't remember though, if I'm being honest. But yeah, but I love yous wasn't big. It wasn't real big. You know, it's one of those things to where you don't hear it, but I suppose you still feel it. Moms, you know, again, we were Muslims. And see, things like this started to happen once my grandpa had passed on. So we weren't as heavy in the masjid or the mosque around this time. So we wasn't going on Sundays like we once were at one point in time. I believe my mom, I think she practices Islam now, but I think it's more or less Orthodox Islam. You know, my mom's, of course, my grandfather, my uncle, all of them were under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Right. It was all under the messenger. So that was a different era, a different time. But anyway, my mom, you know, one of the ways you can tell that she loved us, or at least we felt loved, you know. I mean, and not limited to this, was when she would take on a couple extra hours doing, odd work. I'm not necessarily sure what type of work, to get us all one little thing, some sense of normalcy on December 25th. And when I say normalcy, I mean like normal, like other kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if someone don't love you, they ain't going to do that. Hey, we Muslims, we don't do that. So you don't have to do that. Back to school, when it was time to go back to school, again, like I said, we were poor. And I'm only using poor for a lack of a better, but fuck it, we were poor, goddamn it. Ain't no need in sugarcoating it. We was fucking poor. So my mom's was able to get us, I think, all an outfit for school. It was kind of rare if we got a new pair of shoes. It was kind of rare. Like I said again, man, all the fun we had though. All the fun we had as kids. So my fondest memories are when it had nothing to do. Well, of course, it has something to do with money as far as my mom's was concerned. But I was a kid, so and this is way before this tech era that it is now. You understand? So I learned from my mom. What I learned was how to survive and persevere. Imagine how rough it is being a single mother, young parent. And here it is, your oldest son is a teenager, and out of all the things you've gone through, and that's just with a couple of the brothers I've seen her with. Now imagine her going through some crap with me. Imagine that. My rebellious stage was, once I was in it, because like I said, there's stages to it. I was past counseling. What I needed was my father. In fact, that's part of the reason why I became really rebellious. Really, it's really combative. I was angry. I felt like subconsciously, if I fucked up bad enough, then my pops he'll come get me. Yeah, he might be kind of fucked up that it's under these circumstances, but he would come get me. I would tell all my friends, like, yo, come next school year, I'm out of here. I ain't gonna be here with you niggas. Nope. Next school year came, still there. And best believe my friends reminded me too. Not that I had a big old, long list of friends. I had homies. Yep, and one of them, I thought you said you wasn't gonna be here. I thought you said you wasn't gonna be here. What happened to that? One of them asked me, he was walking down the street. I think we was on 67th and Champlain. And I remember yelling, man, fuck that nigga, man. Y'all remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? When Will Smith's father, played by Ben Vereen, I believe, and he left, and at the end he had that moment with Uncle Phil.
Ain't like I'm still 5 years old, Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's daddy coming home, Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil? Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive, I learned how to shave, I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. The hell with him! I ain't need him then and I don't need him now.
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm having me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
That's what I had. Which is why every time I see that scene, I can feel it. I can feel that. I eventually snapped out of that rebellious stage. I don't have to give a whole bunch of details. I was just out of control. I was rambunctious. I was unruly. The streets more and more became fascinating. You know, see, I realized the connection to the street dudes, right? Listen, a street dude is just a nigga who ain't get enough hugs. Street dude is that and a nigga who just need his daddy in his life. Come here, champ. Come here. Hey, what's going on, champ? Talk to me. Every young street nigga, that's what he's missing. That is what he's missing. That nigga need a hug. He need to know that somebody gives a shit. And he need his daddy. Yeah, there's other mentors coming by. Hey, come on, young blood. You better than this, man. You better than this. And for some people, it works. For some people, it works. Some people, it does not. You got a lot of potential. And that feels good. But at the end of the day, it ain't my daddy. And some men saw what my mom's was going through and felt compelled to, drop a few bars on me. Just including one guy my mom was seeing at the time, James Veely. The dude I told y'all that I threatened once. He tried to talk to me. He just wasn't the one to do it. But looking back on it, he was a good dude. He was a man. He was a man who's seeing a woman, with the son who's out of control. And hey, listen, when you a man and you on your square, you will feel compelled to do something, to contribute and help out this household. How you supposed to have you can't have you had the little dude in here wilding out like that. I think one time I was so in my feelings, I was just I was in a downward spiral of rebelliousness. I tried to square up to my mom once. Not my proudest moment. And James Veely was there. Told me straight up, you put your hands on her, I'll whoop your ass myself. Yeah. Spent years apologizing to my mother. Just about my whole rebellious stage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sorry, Ma. To the point to where she's like, nigga, look, okay, I get it, you sorry. I think I've possibly gone through every emotion a young boy could feel. No, not every emotion, because when my old man talks about some of the things he went through, and then some of the things my mom's has gone through, and when I say some of the things my mom's has gone through, I mean, I know now why I love yous was not big with her. She went through a traumatic experience. So that, and then I listened to some of the things my pops endured as a kid. I've never felt those feelings to that degree. No, I've never felt those. No, never felt those emotions. You know what I'm saying? However, I do know some things. I do know what it feels like to feel like you don't matter. Sometimes feeling like you aren't loved. Alone, and which is why to this day I'm good alone. You know what I'm saying? Being alone don't bother me. A lot of people can't be alone. I can be alone. There was something else I wanted to bring up, but therapy has helped a lot. I plan on going back to therapy again. In fact, I think I'm gonna keep some ongoing therapy, like every so often, just check in and get some stuff off. But as far as improving my relationship with my mom's, because my rebellious stage really it took a toll on our relationship, because right after that stage, that rebellious stage, I moved away. Just as I was coming out of it, I moved away and went to live with my old man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember the night before I left, the house was quiet. She was down the hall in her room. I could hear my mom's crying. Because I think we had an argument or something. I got kicked out of summer school. She was telling me about myself. I was doing the dishes, but she cursed me. She cursed me out. I was coming out of my rebellious stage, but I still had that mouth on me, and I heard her crying in the middle of the night. Her firstborn son is about to leave. Therapy has been a great help. It's been a huge help. It inspired me to have a conversation with my moms about the lack of I love yous. And of course, like I explained, I realized some of the things she had gone through. Some horrific shit. And oh man. And that's when it hit me. As kids, we are so we got so much tunnel vision. But the thing is, we take that selfishness sometimes into our adulthood. You know, there's some adults who still feeling some type of way about their moms or pop or whomever their guardian was. And what I learned from listening to my mom's tell her story, it taught me that we become so consumed with what we didn't get, or whatever the case was, that not one time do we think about what our parent was going through, what led them to be who and what they were. You know, that's pretty selfish. So just like I say that, you know, Mother's Day is every day, just like Father's Day is every day, Grandparents' Day is every day, Valentine's Day, the real meaning of it is fake as fuck. But if you're going to use that as a day to love your loved ones, including your significant other, then every day is that. Should be anyway. But so going off that logic, salute to you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm take Ozzy for a walk real quick before my next client. But yeah, man, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening to me babble, going down memory lane. I know I was all over the place. I didn't know what I was gonna talk about today, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, man. Thank you for your likes, subs, shares, all that good stuff. And I'm the God Rashidi. Word. This is Hoodies, man. Peace. Hey, this is Hoodies.